HELIOS Tarot Forecast for the month of July, year 2017. I'm B.R. Newman, and this will actually be drawn specifically for your astrological zodiac sign, so pay close attention. And also check out Botticelli's Starry Teller Forecasts through the link below. If you want to see the astrological side of things, it's fascinating how it all lines up so beautifully each time. And also check out my website, IamHelios.com. Consider all that I offer there, personal readings, courses, etc. Alright, other than that, let's just get right to it. Okay, Sagittarius, here is your 5-card tarot spread for the month. Now, this is sort of like a compressed or miniaturized Golden Dawn spread, which has 15 cards. This one has 5, but the themes are the same. You have central theme, 2-dimensional timeline options, past section, and a fate section. In your central theme, you have a very significant card. The Tower represents a time of great change, but it's also a time of becoming greatly aligned with who you truly are and what you truly want to create. So the Tower never promises comfort. The Tower usually has to do with shedding old ways, old systems, old methods, and old beliefs that no longer serve you, and also distancing yourself from relationships or relationship dynamics or networks that no longer are in line with the person that you are today. Very likely vastly different than the person you were when you drew those circumstances, conditions, or people to you. So now, not unlike many times, is a time for change, is a time to switch that up a bit. And due to the nature of the Tower card, we have to consider two options in as simple of a way as doing things the way you have always done or doing things completely differently starting now. So, considering the nature of these 2-dimensional timelines, we can figure out which path is much more in line with which. So the 4 of Wands, the 4s in tarot, are all associated with Sphere 4 or Chesed on the Tree of Life, which has to do with a healing energy, repairing the world. And as manifest through fire, this is the act of, or it's the experience of balance, something being corrected, something coming to completion, something coming around full circle. Okay, and this often has to do with conditions lining up for you, conditions sort of coming into alignment without much effort on your part required. On the other hand, you have the 7 of Discs, which of course lines up with the Sphere 7 on the Tree of Life, which has to do with the harsh kindness of God and your endurance and your patience as you experience that. So what is the harsh kindness of God? That's a temporary obstacle, something that's placed before you, something that's stopping you or hindering you, holding you back, that allows you to build up enough energy to burst through it, so then when you do encounter similar obstacles in the future, you just blast through them effortlessly. So as manifest through Discs, or Earth in this case, is actually a shift in perspective after failure. So this is the experience of trial and error. So this is obviously the path upon which you do things differently. So doing things as you've always done would be the 4 of Wands, through which balance would naturally just come into being. Okay, and that would be inspired then by the 6 of Wands in your past section, being associated with both Leo and Jupiter, creativity, expansive nature, everything just sort of lining up with ease. Now the 6 corresponds with Tiferet on the Tree of Life, which has to do with spirituality, integration, compassion, some call it the light of Christ, or simply beauty. And as manifest through Wands, this is the experience of success after the trials. So you can see that the 7 of Discs is quite different, but similar. The 7 of Discs has to do with, the shift in perspective after failure, and then the 6 of Wands has to do with the experience of success after the trials. However, the 7 of Discs does still carry the energy of the failure within it, whereas the 6 of Wands is exclusively the experience of success. So after the trials, you're not, going over how difficult it was if you were successful. If you were successful, you're not going to be, going over and over in your experience, the difficulties that you had to endure. Through those trials, you'll be celebrating. So that's much more of a card of celebration. So that being in your past, then leading to the Tower, implies that such an approach, though pleasant, is not necessarily sustainable, and something has to actually change so that you can show up for the challenges that are to come with the fullness of your being, so that you can overcome those. So you simply need an update. We all need updates from time to time, and now is that time for you. So let's talk more about these 2-dimensional timelines so we can get a clearer picture of how you can go about making one choice over the other. So I think that part of this is dependent upon you carefully considering the nature of your past, the nature, most specifically, of your approach to situations that arose in the past, and considering how you might do things differently in the future. And I'm not going to lie, in this case it could be kind of tricky, because what you're looking for is not the areas that you have perhaps not done as well as you could. So you're not looking for areas that you can learn from and do better next time. You're actually looking to the areas of your life that you have been successful, and those are the areas that require change. And that can be difficult to build up enough motivation to actually achieve. Therefore, very simply, success here is going to be a matter of trial and error. That really is the only way. You can't simply go about doing things the way that you have, because the Seven of Discs is so much more fruitful. It is more difficult. It's difficult to experiment and go through periods of failure, but you learn so much more from that path. You gain so much from losses, and you can survive it, and perhaps the experience of this will give you a better sense of the impervious nature of your being, and perhaps that's precisely what you need. It could be said that confidence is easy when one repeatedly tries only that which they have proven successful at, as they additionally choose their environments, choose their circumstances, choose their timing, etc. Though the experience of the Seven of Discs, the experience of failure, of things not quite working out, may in fact put you in the position to have the experience of feeling confident despite having failed. And if that were to happen, that would be a much stronger, much more resilient form of confidence that could be ultimately far more productive in the world, not only for the sake of improving and beautifying your own life, but for being of greater service to humanity, for more successfully getting your message across, for more adequately conveying that which you would like to demonstrate. So if I could simplify this into something tangible, I would say, try something new. Try things you haven't tried before. Try methods you haven't tried before. Listen to advice. Approach things drastically differently, maybe. You may find yourself outside of your comfort zone, but on the other side of that experience, you will gain something. There's something in it for you. And ultimately what this is leading towards is the challenge that you are going to face. What this is setting you up for is the Nine of Swords. And the nines are all associated with Yasad on the Tree of Life, the very last Sphirith before complete actualization in the Ten, or in Malkuth. So as manifest through swords, or air in this case, this is the experience of a mechanical lack of compassion. So I often describe this card as being challenged by the dead mechanism of the universe that is not being tempered by consciousness. The chaotic, the intensely impersonal nature of nature, according to the laws of entropy and Newtonian physics, all of which care nothing for your wants, concerns, or desires, or comforts. This is very simply a reality check. Welcome back to Earth. No doubt you will be experiencing the precursor to the full actualization of the Nine of Swords in the experience of the Tower. They're intimately interwoven. So this spread is by no means indicative of anything shocking just around the horizon. This has to do with your prolonged relationship with the realities of the world, and where you stand relative to that. It seems as though a source of your confidence, maybe the predominant source of your confidence as a person, is rooted in fantasy, or is rooted in some idealized version of reality. However, just slight modification could line you up with the actual nature of things to allow you to be far more productive and to more, properly convey your truth in that which you would like to demonstrate, as I said before. So this is not anything to fear. This is not anything to avoid. This is certainly, clearly, motivation to attempt things that are quite different, quite outside of your comfort zone, and allow yourself to fail, allow yourself to go through the experience of having failed and having survived. To bring about the most positive manifestation of this Fate card in the Nine of Swords, you align yourself with it. Allow some natural selection to take place within you. Allow some old things to fall away, as is implied by the Tower. That's what this is all about, letting old, outdated systems crumble and be forgotten, and allow new things to come in. Consider new things from new angles. That's what the Seven of Discs is all about. It's the shift in perspective. That's where the emphasis should be here. And I think that should come quite naturally. So that about wraps this up. Thank you so much for listening and for watching. Don't forget to check out my website, IamHelios.com, and consider all that I have to offer there, especially if you would like to take this so much further and so much deeper than we have here. Thank you.